writing approaches that you can use. So the first one is a writing center. So that's kind of really similar to tutoring, where students get one-on-one feedback. And also, depending on the school, it might be some are more focused on grammar or on the paragraph form. So a lot of studies want the students to focus on their information and then do grammar last. So that kind of follows a writing process where you have the pre-writing first and then the rough draft. So they want to follow that and then do grammar last with the editing part. And also the eclectic approach is a really effective way because that brings all the different parts together of our writing. You have just like the writing process, but you may do that kind of like at the same time, depending on like the student's abilities. Some students may be only working on grammar, others may only be working on organization, but they still need to make sure all of those parts together are going to work in their essay. So that is the same as our first paragraph approach for our students. That means they're just focusing on their information and that's it. And then after that, they can organize and get their sentences to like adding in transition words or varying their sentence or using word choice. And also collaborative writing is also a great way because especially if you pair up a higher and lower student together, they can both use their strengths to bring together for a really good writing, or you may pair up students on ability levels where one group of students is working on a certain thing and then another group of students may be working on something else. And think about students, they may want different resources, so you can always use technology. And also writing centers is something else that can be used. And this is a great way for them to receive feedback because that's also really important for them to improve and also for them to help others. Because a student who has already mastered something may be able to help another student with the same skill. And that is a little bit more meaningful than if I just went in and told the student what to do, and it would be more of the peer interaction would like stick a little bit more for the student. And Maya was a student he was a previous ESL student and he wrote a paper on all of his experiences. So he stressed the importance of feedback. Because he was saying how teachers who gave the written feedback was the most helpful, but when teachers gave too much feedback, he did not feel like he learned as much because they didn't give him a chance to look at the rest of the paper and try to like apply the improvements. So we have several different types of writing platforms. We can use technology to teach writing. We can use it to help with typing skills, as well as using it to give feedback. So all of those together can help students with their writing, especially in 4th grade because they start to take the Lita Access on computer, like all 4 parts of it. So a lot of them are spending so much time typing that they forget about all the writing they learned the whole year. So they do not score as well like once they reach 4th grade. So that's been one of my focuses probably for a few years, giving typing practice. Also, social networking, that is in the form of blogs as well. Give a great way to give students a chance to give each other feedback. So a lot of this in Edmodo is something I've used in the past where students are able to give each other ideas. Also things like messengers, like through, because in our Clever, there's several different types of ways where you can can communicate with students, like setting up your classes to where you can write in assignments and be able to message back and forth through there. And so we're going to now focus on what we're actually going to do in the classroom. So we have the importance of background information, thinking maps, because several of you have started using thinking maps when students are like in kindergarten, and also mentor text, writers workshops, writing center, and also integrate technology. So all of those are going to be things that we do in the classroom to help with writing. So we have our first book, making content comprehensible. We have chapter 3, and it gives a lot of information on how to improve the connection between content and also the students' writing. Because some things that you originally were taught to do may not work with ESL students, like KWL charts are sometimes a struggle depending on the topic. So that's something that you may want to think about as you're bringing in a new topic. Also, thinking maps. I use a circle map and flow map all the time with my 4th graders, and I get a lot, the quality of paragraphs are a lot better. Also, the double bubble map is really good because it gives students ideas, and they have things that are saved, but also think about the word choice when they're doing the graphic organizer. Like, think about their vocabulary, and if they have a word that they can use a synonym for, that would be a great idea. To like start having them do that ahead of time, so there's less time spent doing that when they actually have their essay. Also, tree map. That's a really good idea, especially when you start doing the 5-paragraph essays, that you have the flow map and tree map together to have your information flow and you have your details. So mentor texts are also really good because in the past,